I'm Vadd. These are my best room templates for 2-Point Hospital. These templates will require you to know how to disable item snap to grid. It's in your settings under your controls. It's an important button to know to build these rooms. We're going to go into sandbox mode to build these. Go ahead and make sure you have maximum cache, and then make sure you unlock rooms, items, upgrades, and all plots. Remember, higher prestige rooms boost staff happiness, and staff happiness directly affects performance. We can of course build a reception desk. This works perfectly fine. The only issue with the receptionist desk is there's no prestige, so there's no boost to staff happiness. We're going to build 2 different reception desks. One here is a 3x3. This is going to allow us to place down 3 workstations as well as the hatch. This is a perfectly functioning desk. Remember, you don't have to employ 3 receptionists here, just 1. Gives you room to expand. The second shape we're going to go is a 2x5. We're only going to place down 2 desks and 1 hatch. These 2 shapes can be easily expanded to add more space, but for right now, they're working just fine. The 3x3 is a little tricky because each side of the desk needs to have access. So in reality, it does not take up 3x3 space, it takes up 4x4. As you can see here, someone needs to be able to walk up to the window or to be able to get out through the hatch and whatnot. So it's actually quite a large structure, but it moves more people than the reception desk, and we can give it prestige. The 2x5, for example, can be tucked into a corner or up against other rooms because it has edges that don't need anyone to access them. And so oftentimes this is a nice addition. When we go to edit these rooms to increase the prestige level, we're going to make sure that we remember how to place the mini filing cabinets. That's right, they're just not quite going to fit in some corners, and they're going to fit nicely in others. Remember, the key to fitting these in is to understand your room snapping button. You're going to probably need to, on PC here for me, it's left control again. You need to hold that button down while you are trying to place these items. Mini filing cabinets. All we're placing right now, and we're going to probably have to finagle, little finesse, little jingle jangle, just kind of shake up this room a little bit to get those chairs where we want them to fit the cabinets where we want them. Not a big deal, but there's going to be plenty of room in the middle for a radiator or an ice sculpture, whatever you need for your temperature. And we can go with the big one, we can go with the small one. Not a big deal either way. Again, ice sculpture is going to work just fine as well. Now, once we are pretty satisfied with how this kind of 3x3 is shaken out, well, I'm going to leave a small radiator, and if I'm in an environment that's too warm, I'll just remember to sell it and flip it. But for now, I'm going to leave the radiator. Once we're happy with this one, we're going to place down a plant. We're going to kind of, again, just put it up close to this edge. It will need to get watered. You don't have to, but I like to. I think it's nice. And then the golden flower vase. You can put anything on the countertop you like that improves prestige. This just happens to be the most prestige boosting item. And so we're going to spam down the golden flower vase all over the place until we are satisfied. Good enough? Sure. Why not? Now, from now on, forever and ever, after we remember to save templates, and I just name it the room and the size. So this is a 3x3 reception. That's it. And make sure you save. Okay, now forever and ever, now that we've saved this design, when we go to rooms, we can click the blueprint tab and we can click 3x3 reception, and there it is, done. Just like that, we don't need to rebuild this room ever again. In a handful of minutes, you've saved yourself hours, I assure you. Listen, 2x5. The magic here is very similar to the magic over there. Mini filing cabinets, because this is a longer room, we actually, I think, hit like prestige 3 just off of mini filing cabinets. Again, we're kind of finessing them into corners where we can, but we're not super stressed out about it. Prestige level 3, so far, so good. What comes next? That's right, you guessed it. Golden flower vase, as these give the highest prestige bonus. So this is what we're going to use. And if you want to use something else, go for it. But we're going to get this one to prestige 5. Very nice. Remember to save it. Go into your, whatever, fine. We'll put down a radiator. We'll save the radiator. We could probably fit a flower in here. Some rooms have idle animations. Receptionists do not. So we don't need to be too fancy with these rooms, but it's nice to have a flower. It's nice to have for the beauty. It's nice to have a radiator if it's cold or an ice sculpture if it's warm. Make sure to save the template. Please save the template. New template. Save as new template. Save the template. 2x5 reception. That's what this is. Good enough. Forever and ever, we now have 3 options. We can put it on the desk. Totally works just fine. Don't sweat it. Use the desk if you like them. 3x3 if you're really trying to, min-max and this just fits your build. And of course, we have the 2x5, which I tend to use quite a bit. It's just the fact that I can put it flush against the wall just kind of makes me happy. But, whatever you like, go for it. Now, remember, you might not have some of these items unlocked. So when you go to build, it'll say, hey, template contains items you don't have. You can still build it. It'll still build. It'll just be missing for here the golden vase. I don't have the golden vase. Oh no. Whatever are we going to do? We're just going to buy the vase. As you progress through the levels, you're going to unlock some kudos, some currency, and it's like 10 kudos for this bad boy. Boom. It's unlocked and problem solved. Now when we go to build it, we don't get the warning and we have the items as well. It's just that easy. It just works. We are going to build next the General Practitioner room. That is the GP. This is an important room to know how to build as a 3x3. Go ahead and place down the door. And then we're going to try and get a top-down view here so we can kind of finesse over the desk. This room is designed so patients walk in and they just step right into the chair where they're supposed to go. Isn't that great? One cabinet down, room complete. This is a functional room. However, we can do better. Remember, prestige bonus is a happiness bonus, and a happiness bonus is a productivity bonus. So we are going to put down these gold star posters as they have the highest singular wall item prestige bonus. Maybe that'll get adjusted in the future. Put down some wall decorations. This is officially a prestige level 5 room. Happiness at the max. However, we can do better than this. What else might we put in here? Check this out. Medicine cabinets have a 1% boost to treatment and diagnostics. That's right, treatment and diagnosis. So we're going to make our way around the room with quite a few of these. This is supposed to stack, which means, yes, you could hypothetically make a massive GP room, a 10 by 10 square and just fill it with these, get 100 of these bad boys in there, get 100% diagnosis powered, but that is not today's video. We're going to put down 10. It's a very respectable number, as a flat 10% boost to diagnosis seems pretty significant. However, we can do better than that. We're going to squeeze a few more in, not too many. I think like maybe 4 or 5. I think 15 is a good number, right? A 15% boost sounds really nice. All right. This is the tricky bit. The filing cabinet actually is a little bit longer of a zone around it. So we're going to put this next one next to the chair here, and then we're going to slide the filing cabinet back down. Okay, you with me so far? We slid it up. We put a medicine cabinet down. We slid it down. All of this is to create a little bit of space here at the end of the desk to have options for temperature control. And you can even fit a temperature thing and a plant here. I'm not going to, but we can fit a temperature control for this room. And it's happy. I mean, this is a good room right here. It's going to get the job done. Ta-da! Room complete. Remember, save the template. Please save the template. Save the template. I name it the room it is and the size 3x3 GP. And now, forever and ever, we can build straight from the templates. There's a beautiful little 3x3 with a solid 15% bonus. Climate controlled. Remember to adjust as needed. Time to build a pharmacy. We're building a 3x3. That's right. 3x3. It's the minimum size you can build, and it's just a good little size. Now, this one's a little obnoxious because this machine's kind of big. On one side of the machine, the patient stands, and on the other side of the machine, the nurse stands. So we're going to put the machine so that the patient side is closest to the door. They walk in the door, they walk to the machine. Ta-da! Now, here's the thing. Prestige bonus matters, and we can, bump that up with a little bit of a gold certificate here. So we're going to wall the room, get to prestige 5. And this is a fully functioning room with a max prestige bonus. Everybody's happy. We can do better than this. Important to remember, the pharmacy does have an idle animation. We're going to go ahead and get the diagnostic boost from medicine cabinets and the treatment boost, as well as the pharmacy can benefit from that. But we want to face these cabinets toward where the nurse will be stationed, because the nurse has an idle animation, which means there's a chance they will go over and check one of the medicine cabinets while waiting for a patient. We're going to put a chair in the room to try and trick them into sitting down. There's no boost for having a chair, but as an idle animation option, they can sit down. We will, of course, then add other options for idle animations, like the hand sanitizer, which does give an increase to hygiene, as well as a little sweets and treats dispenser, which can help reduce the hunger stat. And we might as well put a fire extinguisher in case things go bad, and a little temperature control. There's plenty of room for all these things in the corner. The chance your nurse is going to kind of take a gander and wash their hands with a little hand sanitizer, little hygiene, a little sweet, take a sit in the chair, all is well here. Remember, save the template. Please save the template. If you're jumping around with the timestamps, it might be the first time you've heard me say that. But if you're not, you're going to hear that a lot. Please save the template. 3x3 pharmacy. Just name it what I do. Name it, the room size and the room type. Easy. Next up, we're going to build the general diagnosis room. Sometimes the GP will be like, hey, you need a little more general diagnosis. Whatever. Slap down a door in the corner, any corner you like. And this has two little fancy things in it. So this room's a little slow. Sometimes it feels like it's not a big deal, but it's got this little structure here where your dude needs to work. And we're going to put it close to the door. And this bench here, as a patient, might go into both kind of corners of this. We have it right up against the door. That's the key here. We officially have a functioning room. Prestige is not where we want it to be. Prestige bonus matters. Prestige increases happiness. Happy staff are better staff. So we're going to slap down the gold star posters. Again, you can use any wall poster you like to get to Prestige 5. These are just efficient. Ta-da! That is one prestigious room. I mean, everyone just knows how great we are. Look, we have these gold posters. Now, on the left here, medicine cabinets and the weighing machine both give a diagnosis and treatment bump. But medicine cabinets are like 1,000 monies, and the weighing machine is 400. Not the weighing scales for 300 is a decorative item. The weighing machine is a decorative item that has diagnosis and treatment powers. So we're going to put this down for a change of pace. You could go medicine cabinets, not a big deal. I'm just going with these as they're a little bit cheaper, and this is already kind of an expensive room that I don't always love to build. So a little bit of a change of pace, a little bit of a different aesthetic, not a big deal. Build whichever one you like. But you know what we can do? We can do a little better. We're going to go ahead and put down a chair, as this is a room with an idle animation. I want to try and trick my nurse into sitting down as close to the workstation as possible. I've got sweets dispensers to cut down on the hunger. And you know what? We might as well just slip a hand sanitizer in here. It's not going to hurt. It can only help. Room complete. Please save the room. Go to your templates and save the room. If you don't save the room, what good was this all? Save new template. I just name it after the room size and the room name. 3x3 general diagnosis. Everybody's happy. Next, we will build a cardiology room here. This is a 3x3 room. We're going to go ahead and put down the door off to the side and then put down the treadmill. This one needs to be a little bit close to the door, as you can see where people are going to be stepping onto the treadmill. So we want to get that minimal distance for patients entering room and getting onto the treadmill. This is a functional room. By putting down the Gold Star War posters, we can improve the room's prestige. Very nice. Medicine cabinets for that 1% bonus is also going to be the way forward, followed by hand sanitizer and a chair to try and keep those idle animations tight, and for the hygiene bonus. So far, so good. We're actually going to sneak down a heater or a cooler in this little gap here, plenty of room, and we're going to take out one medicine cabinet, so we're at 11% boost for the sweet dispenser, just for a little bit of a reduction of hunger. And I think we can even squeeze in a fire extinguisher here. I think there's some room if you do a little bit of finessing. There's some wiggle room. You can figure out how to get it in. I think the trick is, if you want the sweets dispenser, you got to angle it to make this work, and then it was happy. But all in all, this is a fully functional room. Just like that, cardiology done. Make sure to save the template. Save the template. I name it 3x3 cardiology, as that is the room that it is and the size it is. Next room we are going to be building is going to be the psychiatry. This is a 3x3 room. Door off to the edge. Slap down the first chair, slap down the patient chair. We're trying to get the minimal distance for the patients coming in from the door into the chair they need to get into. That's why we have this set up right here. So far, so good. We're going to bump up prestige by using the Gold Star Award wall hanging. Use the one you like. This is a prestige level 5 room. We can do better. We are going to go ahead and put down the medicine cabinets. These are a 1% boost. Yes, the psychiatry room does have a fancy 2% boost item, but it is so large and cumbersome, it just doesn't make sense. Aesthetically, it's gorgeous, but from a pure min-maxing standpoint, it doesn't. If this doesn't work, you run out of room, you messed up the door, finesse it a little, there's room for these to go side by side here. I left in that on purpose. You can see that that door is kind of particular on this one. Remember, you can't block a row. So again, we're going to put these cabinets kind of at the top angle here, and we're pretty happy with this. A small heating unit, and that's right, psychiatry is done. Look at that. Gorgeous. Huge boost, huge bonus, short distance to the patient, to the chair. Everybody's happy, happy, happy. Save the template. Save the template. I name it 3x3 psych, as that is the room and the size. We are going to build the ward next. This is going to be a 5 wide and a 4 long. That is 4 long, 5 wide. Medicine cabinet first helps us line up our door. This is a room that has quite a bit of wiggle room with stuff, but it's also a little bit particular how you get some of these first things down. I'm mostly putting the door down just for a reference point for this bed here. So that medicine cabinet helps me measure out that bed distance, and so does this medicine cabinet in the bottom left corner here. Now I've got my beds down, I've got my desk, and we're going to put down more medicine cabinets. These give a 1% boost to treatment and diagnosis, as do the wall monitors. So we're going to fit a wall monitor over each bed if we can, and then of course the gold stars behind each of the medicine cabinets just above them, as who doesn't want to be reminded how great they are? Gold star, how very nice. So this is important for the high prestige, for the happiness bonus, which applies to both staff and patients. Plenty of room for a heater, plenty of wiggle room in here. You can slide almost that whole center section a little left, a little right, a little up. It's got some room. This is a very efficient room, surprisingly so. And we're going to make sure that we save this template. If I said that yet today, save the template. Please save the template. 4x4 and the room name. That's the room size and the room name. It's a 4x5 ward. That's the template. Let's build the fracture ward. This is going to be a much kind of longer structure here. And you're going to see that as we put down these traction beds that we're then going to move the desk closer. Remember, you got to disable item snap the grid to get this stuff to fit in here like this. We can fit in 4 traction beds, and they're the most important thing for this room. As the center kind of station, the plaster caster, I think it's called. There's a lot of wiggle room there for other options as well, which means, you know, flowers, heaters, etc. Medicine cabinets, that's right, 1% boost, and wall monitors. They fit right in here, so very nice. It's just like someone designed it that way. It's beautiful, gorgeous, love it. And the wall monitors are a little tricky to put down. They're kind of a big footprint, but we can fit a couple of them in here, which makes me very happy. We're going to, of course, add the gold star awards. You can use other wall things if you like them. These just have a optimal amount of prestige, so we're putting them down just above our medicine cabinets and off to the sides. In addition, this room tends to catch on fire for me. I don't know why. Maybe it's just that kind of party. So I like to sneak in a fire extinguisher or 2. You do not have to. These can, of course, be placed in hallways, but I like to on mine. It's a little bit extra. There's plenty of room for a heater or a flower or some decorations in the center. Save the template. Please save the template. This is a 4x5 fracture ward. There we go. The staff room, one of the most important rooms in the hospital, is a 2x3 room. Very nice. Door off to the side, couch down in the back. This room has a lot of good options in it. I'm going to say what I like to use. I use the energy drink for the energy buzz. It's kind of like a speed boost. And then I will put down a luxury drink machine for the increased happiness. Use whatever you think is fun. It's your room. Make it your way. I will also add a hand sanitizer to increase hygiene. I think that's a good thing to have going on in the hospital. And then there's just room to play. We're going to put down a bin because we can, because we like it. It works out just fine. Arcades to reduce boredom. We have this big open space over here. The only thing this room actually requires is that couch. It's kind of lame, but it's also kind of great because then we have so much room for activities. How about a punching bag? Also reduces boredom, just like the arcade. Then we could fit, I don't know, we could put a plant, coffee machine, some decorations there. We could warm it up with the radiator. We could cool it down. Remember, you got to be using that disable item snap to grid to make this work. There's so many good options here. Here's a coffee machine. There's room to work. But right now, this is a completely functional room. It has plenty of things to satisfy, hunger, thirst, boredom, hygiene, relaxation. We're going to give it the Gold Star Awards for that prestige bonus, for the happiness bonus. We're happy with this. Save it. Save the template. It is a 2x3 staff room. That's how I name my template. This is maybe the next most important room is the bathroom. Welcome to the facilities. This is a 2x3 structure here. We're going to center the door, put down 2 toilets, 2 hand dryers, and I'm going to measure out the space for the hand washing station by getting down 2 gold awards. That's right, we are just the best. And that's how I know that I've kind of fit in my Gold Star Awards. All of these bathroom designs are very, very tight. Okay, and kind of except for this one, and that's just because it's simple. We'll put down the Gold Star Awards for the prestige bonus where we can on the walls behind the toilets here, which is wonderful. Last thing here is there's plenty of room in the center. There's actually kind of a lot of room. Small radiator, you want to go ice sculpture, you want to put down the charity dog, an anatomy module, you want to put down a bush, you want to put down a trash can. I don't like doing the trash can. I don't really love that, but you can. I'm going to go with a plant. Your choice here. There's plenty of room in the center for whatever. This is a 2x3 bathroom. We are going to save the template and name it. So go to the template, save template. That's right. 2x3. We're going to call this a 2x3 small. We're going to remember it's a bathroom, and just remember this one's small, different shape, different size, a little bit more, impressive structure here to 2x4. This one can actually service significantly more patients and staff as needed as we double up on the facilities. 1 sink, okay? I'm gonna put a hand dryer on one side and then a hand sanitizer on the other, as well as the door. Everybody's happy. Prestige bonus to make it happen. Fit it where you can. And then there's plenty of room beside the sink for a heating element, a cooling element, whatever your environment needs. Listen, the bathrooms are kind of tight. There's a possibility when you first place the template, it'll like delete one of the cans, okay? You're going to need to replace one or maybe more of the toilets, depending on if you were like a little too finesse with things, okay? Sometimes just be cool, place it down and don't worry about it. But on this next one, you're going to see it's very, very tight. This is a 2x4 wide. Lovely structure. Save the template. It doubles up on the bathroom power. 2x4 wide for this facility. We're gonna go big. We're gonna go real big. That's right. 3x5. Oh my goodness. I can already tell I've placed these top ones a little too tight together, which means when I first place the template here, I am probably going to lose a few of them and have to adjust. That's okay. It's not a big deal. Keep on building. You're gonna have to just kind of live and learn what the spacing is on those. So far, so good. Sinks on the ends. Those sinks will then give me the spacing I need to kind of fit in just 2 more of these. This is just slightly larger, but almost impressive how many bathrooms, we can really, how many bathroom needs we can meet here. 2 sinks, 2 hand dryers, full of places to sit. Love to see it. Gold Star Awards for the prestige bonus, for the happiness bonus, which does affect our patients. They do want to be happy. That's right. 1, 2, 3. This is going to be the 3x5 large. That's what I'm going to name it. You don't have to. Just save your template however you're going to remember it. This gives me a quick glance. I can know, do I want a 2x3 small, a 2x4 wide, a 3x5 large? These tend to get it done. Do me a favor. If you like this video, click like. YouTube channel members to support what I do. Welcome to the training room. This is a very, very expensive room. Incredibly expensive. It is ridiculously expensive. However, we're going to get like better than a 50% training bonus, and we'll get 3 desks in here and a prestige of 5 in a 3x3 room. I'm pretty proud of this one. The brain anatomy poster boosts that training speed up. So we're going to go ahead and place these down as they are supposed to be stacking. And then the encyclopedia bookcase gives a 4% boost. You might not have these unlocked yet. We've talked about how to unlock them earlier in the video. Spend your kudos when you got them on what you want. This is a great one to unlock as a 4% boost, but it's also 4,000 monies. Very, very expensive. Ignoring all of that, this is, I think, a 58% boost, if I did my math right, but we'll never know until you build your own. We're gonna have space for a heating element, maybe even a plant if you like it. This room is done and it's like crazy expensive, but it's massive how much the training boost matters. Save the template, please. Save the template. This is a 3x3 training room. I just used the room name and the room size for the template. The marketing room. The marketing room has no items that actually improve the room, which is kind of fun, but also kind of a bummer. It's a 3x4 room. And once you put down the table and the desk, that's about it. You're welcome to add, some other fun things if you want. I tend to add some rainwater barrels or little sweets, a little bit of hygiene with the hand sanitizer and the gold stars for the prestige bonus. That's the room. Save the template. It's the marketing room. Research is a really expensive room. I actually tend to build this one raw. I'll put out a 3x4 and upgrade it over time, as it's a pretty easy room to slowly kind of increase the upgrades you put in here, but it's kind of really expensive to pay it all up front, as it starts off very expensive. So these servers give a 1% research power boost. I'll just kind of line up a handful of them, and then I'll put a couple of heating and cooling units, a snack dispenser here, and some water just to help with hunger and thirst needs, as these servers actually generate quite a bit of heat. Sometimes I'll use an ice statue, not a big deal. There are options. Now, as I continue to get more money, I'll throw down these supercomputers in place, which give a 2% boost. So in the same space, we can get a little better boost, but it is incredibly expensive, as it is quite literally 3 times the cost of the other units. Now, we can also go with 4x7. And again, an incredibly expensive room, and just put down the research desk and pod, just the starting things. And then over time, I will start building out the supercomputers. I do rows of about 7 in this build, and that leaves me room to put in the wall kind of air conditioning units, as well as some ice statues on the end. It's pretty efficient on that regard for the heating and temperature control. But this is, like $1 million room, or like $750,000. But it's pretty easy to kind of fit this into some of the larger hospitals. You can save the templates if you want, but you're very rarely going to have, $750,000. You obviously add in some extinguishers, something to help with hunger and thirst, but it's not necessarily a room we use a lot. Same thing with the cafe. The cafe is hospital dependent, and a lot of hospitals probably benefit from not having the cafe be built. I'm going to show you a few different builds here. Don't forget to save the templates. That being said, your characters are going to go to fill their needs where they want to. So let's say you build a luxury drink machine on one side of the hospital and some other drink machine on the other. Whatever they're in the mood for, they'll go towards, not necessarily what's closest. So the cafe is super hospital dependent, because if someone really wants the cafe experience, they will walk for it instead of going to the closest container at times. Maybe that's changed in recent past. Maybe I'm misunderstanding the mechanic, but I find the cafe takes up a lot of space and it doesn't really benefit. We can get to Prestige 5, but you've got to kind of spam down these hypno poles, and it's just expensive and just not worth it. It's really not. Again, hospital dependent. There are certain hospital builds and larger levels where you can fit in a nice cafe and it's worth having in your back pocket. However, most of the time I can get it done with some well-placed drink and snack machines instead of a dedicated cafe, but at times it is nice to have some cafe options. Let's talk Mega Scanner. This is a very large and expensive room, and the scanner can be upgraded, which is important to remember, because we do have the option of kind of trying to buff this room with some of the, I think there's servers on this one. However, this is already like a crazy expensive room, and because you can upgrade the scanner and you can upgrade your staff's stats, I don't really recommend putting these servers down. I want to show you with the initial base design that they do fit. However, I generally get away with just upgrading the scanner and my staff skills, not spamming in these servers. It just adds expense for no good reason. Save the room. X-ray machine. Very similar to some of the other machines. It's a very basic room. This gets it done. We just don't need more than this. It's an advanced scanning tool. Get through in the Prestige 5 and be happy. Don't forget to save the templates. Okay? Now, again, yes, we could spam down servers. Not worth it. It's just not worth it here. This is the DNA lab, a lovely room. We're going to actually put this one off at a little bit of an angle here so that we can fit in the chair nicely behind it. You don't have to do this, just the basic room. Again, we want to add some needs of hygiene, hunger, maybe a fire extinguisher, thirst, and gold stars for the prestige bonus. If you're watching this video linearly from start to finish, you might be starting to get a theme here with a lot of these kind of end game, mid game room. This is the fluid analysis, another lovely room. We want to be careful with this one that we're making sure we're close to the door so patients walk in and step right up to the machine. In the same way, we're going to put down a fire extinguisher, a sweet dispenser, a hand sanitizer, a chair to try and get in the gold stars for the prestige bonuses, right? To try and get our staff near where they need to be on the machine as well. Don't forget to save the template. We can boost this room out with servers. I don't really recommend doing this. Can you do it? Yes. Should you do it? If you have the extra money and the extra room, it is slightly better, but it's not significant. A lot of the times you're going to be able to get away with a 3x3 room. It's going to be a lot cheaper and just as effective, as this is not the first room your hospital patients will come through. Don't forget to save the template. This is the injection room. This is a room that is actually kind of tricky to fit a 3x3 into, as the injection, the jab master, the table there is really kind of finicky. The medicine cabinets do give us that 1% boost, and we do have some idle animations from our nurse that is stationed here. And because of that, we're going to kind of finesse things quite a bit to try and get as many of these as we can in for the extra powers they offer, as well as the prestige level 5 bonus. We've done it. Save the template. It is a lovely functional room. I'm pretty proud of this one. This one really gets the job done. This is the surgery room, one of the more important rooms to build. You can build these massive. I don't really recommend it. This room is super intensive for staff. It is a long patient procedure. It's kind of a little tricky to build. We're going to move things around a couple of times to get them to fit in nicely. However, this is a really clean design here. I'm really happy with the way this one turned out, but it's not perfect. It's not perfect. We could make this quite a bit bigger, and I don't think that's a winning strategy, though. I'd rather put down more of these little rooms and try and control patient flow rather than build a massive one that's super efficient with these medicine cabinets. I do try and get these chairs in here. I think they're nice to have for the doctor and nurse who work in here to try and catch them in their idle animation. And of course, I want a prestige 5 room. Be sure to save the template. This is one of those rooms that when you need it, you just want to have it. You don't want to have to build this one twice. If you like this video, click like. YouTube channel members to support what I do. I'm Vadd, and I will see you in the next one.